Hello, dear friends of the Hoai Ca channel. Today something completely unexpected unfolds. Jo has been quietly preparing a secret gift. Not something flashy or expensive, just a simple phone carefully chosen with Hoai Ca in mind. But what truly shocks everyone isn't the gift itself. It's the reason behind it. While Hoai Ca was away, Jo suddenly revealed a truth so staggering it left Mrs. Bay frozen in disbelief. His words echoed through the house, leaving her wide-eyed, struggling to grasp what she had just heard. So the question is, was this gift just an act of care, or is it tied to a much deeper secret? And could Jo's revelation change everything? Hoai Ca thought she knew. A jaw-dropping twist is about to unfold. One that could mark the turning point of Hoai Ca's entire life. For a long time, Jo carried a quiet thought in his heart, buying Hoai Ca a new phone. She had lost hers long ago, and ever since life had been inconvenient. To Jo, the phone wasn't just a tool. For a woman who had weathered so many storms, it was a lifeline, a small bridge connecting her to the outside world. But for many reasons, he had never made it happen. Today, by chance, that long-held intention finally came to life. In the stillness of the family home, Jo's sister, who hadn't seen Hoai Ca or little Tony in ages, spoke up. Her voice carried both care and regret from the days of distance. She mentioned wanting to visit them, and along with that, she wanted to bring a gift. Something she knew Hoai Ca had been without for too long, a phone. At that moment, Jo's heart skipped a beat. It was exactly what he had wanted to do all this time, but never acted on. His sister didn't just mention Hoai Ca, she mentioned Tony too. Even though the boy was away at school, she still wanted to come by to make up in some small way for the absence of closeness. Without hesitation, the two of them set out walking the familiar path toward a nearby phone shop. The late afternoon sun stretched their shadows across the ground, wrapping the moment in a quiet warmth. With every step, Jo felt the weight of his thoughts, knowing just how much this simple gift might mean to Hoai Ca. Inside the store, surrounded by endless rows of phones, his sister's eyes immediately landed on the bright high-end models shining under the display lights. She thought of choosing something expensive and modern to show her heart. But Jo shook his head. He knew Hoai Ca too well. She wasn't someone who cared for flashy technology. What she needed wasn't complicated. Just something small, reliable, simple. Something that could let her stay connected when it mattered most. After some thought, Jo made his choice, a Samsung S22. Not too pricey, not too fancy, but practical and just right. To him, it was the perfect fit for Hoai Ca, a woman of simplicity who only needed a little convenience to make her life feel less uncertain. As the clerk wrapped the phone neatly in a box, Jo stood in silence. He didn't say a word, but inside, he felt both relief and anticipation. For most, it was just another phone. But for Hoai Ca, it would mean something else entirely. Quiet care, a small comfort in the middle of her difficult days. After buying the phone, Jo and his sister didn't linger. Carrying the small gift box, half excited, half nervous, they turned down the narrow alley that led to Hoai Ca's home. The old wooden gate creaked open, but the one who greeted them wasn't Hoai Ca or even Tony. It was Mrs. Bay, the elderly neighbor, who had been a constant presence in this little village. Her eyes lit up when she saw Jo. and with her usual warmth, she welcomed the siblings inside. As they chatted, Joe and his sister learned something that caught them off guard. Hoai Ca had taken Mrs. Bay in as her godmother. The reason was as simple as it was. Touching Hoai Ca, worried about the woman's lonely old age, and invited her to live with them. Hearing this, Joe quietly nodded his heart, swelling with a silent kind of pride. Despite everything she had endured, Hoai Ca still carried a kind and selfless heart. Mrs. Bay's voice grew animated as she talked about her days with Hoai Ca and little Tony. Her words blended with the sound of the wind outside, making the small house feel warm and alive. But that peace didn't last long. Out of nowhere, Joe revealed a truth he had kept hidden for so long. He was Tony's biological father. The words struck like lightning on a clear day. For a moment, Mrs. Bay froze. All this time, she had never once heard such a thing. To her, Tony had always just been a sweet, polite little boy, devoted to his mother. Now, with this revelation, her heart raced with a flood of emotions. Yet, as she looked into Joe's eyes, she saw no deceit, only honesty, and the weight of a man who no longer wanted to hide. He wasn't running from his past. He was stepping forward, ready to claim his place and offer the care he had once failed to give. The room grew quiet. Then slowly, Mrs. Bay's expression softened into a warm smile. She felt no anger, no judgment. Instead, she found comfort. Because in her heart, she realized Tony was doubly blessed. Not only did he have Hung, the devoted stepfather, who stood by mother and son, but he also had Joe, a father by blood, who longed to make up for lost time. Two fathers love. What greater fortune could a child have? Meanwhile, Joe's sister gently steered the conversation, asking about Hoai Ca and Tony's daily life, especially with Hung often working far from home. With a sigh, Mrs. Bay admitted that life wasn't easy. Hoai Ca juggled work and childcare often without a man's helping hand. But she quickly added with a smile that Hoai Ca was resilient and Tony was obedient. And together, they pushed through. Hearing this, Joe's sister felt her eyes sting. She could see the quiet weight Hoai Ca carried on her thin shoulders. In that moment, she understood even more deeply why her brother had chosen this gift. A phone wouldn't change everything, but it could make her days a little less lonely, giving her a lifeline to someone who cared, waiting on the other end of the line. Late in the afternoon, Hoai Ca returned from the fields, her body weary, yet her eyes still shining with quiet resilience. As she stepped through the gate, she was startled to see Joe and his sister sitting with Mrs. Bay inside the house. It had been so long since they last met. A mix of surprise and warmth crossed her face, and for a moment, the tiredness seemed to melt away. Joe's sister rose to greet her, placing a small, neatly wrapped box in her hands. Inside was a new phone, the very gift Joe had quietly chosen for her. Hoai Ca froze her breath, catching. She stared at the sleek device in her palm, her eyes trembling with emotion. Ever since losing her old phone life had been inconvenient, never once did she imagine someone would buy her another. And yet here it was, a gift carrying not just practicality, but the quiet care of two people who remembered her struggles. Her lips curved into a soft smile as she bowed her head in gratitude. It wasn't about the phone itself, but the love behind it. To her, this was a lifeline, connecting her to Hung, her husband working far away, and to Joe, or his sister, in times of need. Beside her, Mrs. Bay's eyes glistened with joy. She knew that behind this simple gesture was genuine concern for Hoai Ca and little Tony. The room warmed with a sense of family. Hoai Ca and Mrs. Bay invited them to stay for dinner, a humble meal, but one filled with love. Yet Joe's sister gently declined, explaining they had other commitments, and promised they would return another day to sit and talk longer. As Joe rose to leave, his gaze lingered on Hoai Ca, heavy with unspoken words, care, regret, and a longing he couldn't quite voice. Then quietly, he followed his sister out the door, leaving behind an air of bittersweet silence. Inside the little house, Hoai Ca clutched the phone to her chest. A faint smile touched her lips. Beside her, Mrs. Bay nodded knowingly, as if to say, no matter how hard life may be, she and Tony were not alone. And sometimes even the simplest gift could bring enough warmth to carry her through the days ahead.
Đáp lại với ánh mắt toát lên sự vui vẻ.